This is episode 7. So, in this episode, we will have to discuss about the basic concepts of object. So, here are the basic concepts of object. First concept that we have to discuss about the object is or the objects are classified or grouped in a class. Every object has attributes, then behavior and methods are also another concept of objects. Then one object may send a message to the other, so it means that object may respond to the message. Encapsulation and hiding or binding is another types of already concept. Class hierarchy, inheritance, polymorphism, object relationship, aggregation, and object containment are the basic concepts that we're going to discuss in this episode. Please share, like, subscribe this YouTube channel if you need more concept about software engineering. It is the beginning, so we'll discuss about more advanced concepts later on. We are going to cover each step by step. So let's see the first concept. There is a class. Class is a set of objects. So every object which has the common structure and common behavior can be belongs to the same class. Other than these similarities or this common structure and behaviors, other objects cannot be belong in the same class because they have structural difference and they have also behavioral differences. So object is a single instance of a class. Grouping the following objects into one of the classes. Let's have exercise. So we have three classes as shown below. The first class is already air vehicle, or the second one is land vehicle. The third one is land vehicle. And also we have the given objects. So what we are to do here, this object will belongs to in their class. For example, let's check their characters and their behavior. So sheep and boats have the same structure, at the same time the same behavior. They move on water body. So these two classes are belong to the water vehicle. Truck, bus, automobile objects are a little bit a similar object. They move on using the lantern inland. So these three objects may belongs to the land vehicle class. The rest of class, plane and helicopter, already belongs to here in air vehicle. So what we did here is checking their structure and their behavior. So keeping that in mind, we can classify those objects with their respective classes. So the class hierarchy is just like this. Look, the vehicle is the parent class, then air vehicle, water vehicle, land vehicle are already the child class. So these two objects belongs to here. Yeah. So air vehicle is a set of plane and helicopter. The water vehicle is a set of the ship object and boat object, as well as the land vehicle is a set of or a group of truck, automobile, and buses. So this is how we are going to classify objects in their respective classes. So each object or each class will have a data. This data is called already an attribute. So attributes are states and properties of the object, or this property represent a certain or a state of an object. So each object will have their own states and attributes. For example, when you think about the truck has already model, yeah, model number or model type. It has plate number. It has engine type. So every object will possess a certain property. This property is considered also data of a certain object. Yeah, data of a certain object. For instance, truck will have this data, or we can accumulate the data of a truck using its model, plate number, and engine type. The same is true. These automobile and parts objects will share these attributes, even if they have their own identity. So attribute is already it is a property of a certain object or classes. Objects in the same class will share the same attribute or will have the same property even if they have their own identities. For instance, we have here an engine class. This engine class will have these attributes: the capacity, the horsepower, the manufacturer, it's a string, the number of cylinders, fuel injection, it is a boolean. So this plus sign indicates that these types of attribute is a public. Yeah, this is a public. That means this is it shows it indicates that the visibility of this particular attribute. That means these attributes are visible for any class. So all the engine attributes are accessible by any class. So this plus sign later on in encoding it will be the access uh, modifier. So we will use the keyword public. So the designer designs just like this, and the coder will implement those attributes by making them public. So this is the first concept of object. The second one is every object has behavior, or objects are capable of doing something. So the object will perform something, or there are different objects. Each object will have function. They will perform their own functions. For example, a car will have their own behavior. So a car will be moved, stop, and so on. A window, that means application window maybe, will have its own operation, like it has a display, move, close, and so on. So in general, a behavior indicates that what kinds of function the object will have, or it indicates how the objects are capable of doing. This is collectively known as operation. So behavior is one of the main characteristics in object-oriented of or in when you think about object concepts. The other one, object will have method. This method will encapsulate the behaviors of an object, or it provide an interface to an object or hide any internal structure and status maintained by the object. So the method will encapsulate the behaviors of the object. That means it will protect or hide the behaviors of an object. So assume we have two objects, object A and object B. Object A may send a message to object B, maybe B will reply. So these two objects communicating each other by sending a message, by exchanging an information. This exchanging of an information, this content is called already a message. So message enables two objects to share information between each other. So object is instruction and a method implementation. An object may send and receive a message. So this is a message is one of the basic concepts of objects. So objects will interact together by sending a message. So here we have information hiding. So information hiding means it is the principles of concealing or hiding the internal structure or the internal data and procedures of an object. So it's something already hiding, or it's something concealing the internal data and procedures of an object. Or the information hiding means providing an interface to each object in such a way to reveal little as possible about its inner workings. So each object will interact, will have interface with the other object, that the other object may know notes more about their internals. So their internal data. This concept is called information hiding. Encapsulation. Encapsulation means an object said to be encapsulated as a data and a program. Encapsulation is, or information hiding is, the design goal of an information system. A little bit there is a different, a similarity between encapsulation and information hiding. The other one, we have the class hierarchy. So every system has components. Each component will interrelate one with the other. So there is the interface, the communication between systems component. So during this component, there is the concept hierarchy, or there is the concept map, or there is the map of the class from the detailed class to the more generic concept. So this concept's mapping or is called already class hierarchy. For example, when we say country, yeah, when you say country, okay, let's map the concept. We have a country. This is a top concept. So we have what? We have states. Yeah. We have zone. We have also districts. You see, this is the most lower concept. This concept will map to this. Yeah. The collection of district is a zone. The collection of zone is already state. The collection of state is already a country. So this specific concept will map in a such a way. So this phenomena is called already concept hierarchy. So in object orientation, we have two types of concept hierarchy. The first one is A types of hierarchy. For example, banana is a kind of fruit. So fruit is a generic class and banana is already the most specific class. You see, this is a kind of relationship, or this is a kind of super and subclass relationship. For example, laptop is a kind of machine. So there is the concept hierarchy. A little bit machine is generic. Laptop is already a more specific. So this kinds of or such kinds of relationships of also called is a types of hierarchy. The other types of hierarchy is part of hierarchy. In this hierarchy, there is no commonality, but the two classes already related as part of hierarchy. For example, CPU is part of motherboard. This indicated that CPU will aggregate on motherboard. So the motherboard is a larger class, yeah? The whole class, but the CPU is already the part class, yeah, the part class. So such kinds of relationship is already part of hierarchy. Or you can say heart is part of body, yeah. Heart is part of body. This indicates that heart is the smaller class, body is the larger class. We mean that heart is either composed with the body class or it's aggregated with the body class. In this case, heart is composed with the body class. Here we say part is aggregated with the motherboard. That means the CPU and the motherboard, yeah, or the CPU can be separated from the motherboard. Maybe it will not perform its function. It does not change its nature. It remains CPU as it is. For example, we can say is aggregated or is part of relationship. In the other way, heart is part of body. When you say if you segregate, if you separate heart from body, so there is no life. Yeah, there is no life for heart. It will damage. It will change into different structures. So we have two types of is a hierarchy. One is maybe it's a composition. One object, the smaller object, will compose with the larger object. See, so such kinds of relationship already is a types of relationships or class hierarchy. Let's see here we have a vehicle is a class is a superclass, air vehicle, land vehicle, and water vehicle are the subclass of the vehicle. A house is a larger class, the whole class in the first floor, the second floor are all part of the larger class. So we can indicate it just like this. Here, these classes are already the subclasses. They have their own identity, but they are specialized this larger class, or this class will generalize these three classes, i.e. the land vehicle, the water vehicle, and their vehicle are generalized by this vehicle. So this is a types of relationship. So what we have here, so the dining room, the living room, kitchen are aggregated on the first floor, is part of the first floor. The first floor is a larger class, whereas these are the smaller classes. The same is true here. The bedroom, the kids' bedroom, and the bathroom are part of the second floor. So this is the part, or that is a smaller class. These classes are aggregated on this class, and the same is true. First floor and second floor are part of the house. The other thing we have polymorphism. During polymorphism, we are going to think about this operator overloading or related with the variable or overloading. So it is overloading. So it means that the same operation maybe have different on different classes. The same operation may be applicable in different class differently. For example, here we have the rectangle. Here we have the rectangle. This is the length of the rectangle and this is the width of the rectangle. Area of a rectangle is equals to L times width. So here we have another square. So this is length, this is length. Area of rectangle is L times L. So this formula used differently here, but it's the same formula, but here we are using as L times W, and then we have L times L. So such kinds of overloading is called already what we have polymorphism, many forms. Poly means many, form means shape. So there is polymorphism. Yeah, polymorphism. So this is what about the polymorphism. The other thing, there is a relationship. One object may relate with the other. One object may need interact with the other objects. So through message exchange. So this time the relationship will be formed. It is a relationship among classes that provide the foundation of the structures of the new system. So we have two types. We have different kinds of objects. This object may interact one with the other. So this time we say that it is a relationship or formation of relationship. Relationship could be a simple association or it is a simple structural connection between objects and their classes. That means two objects may relate each other, maybe they will separate later on, nothing will happen, they can exist. So it is because it's a simple structural connection. Maybe you will drive with your passengers, so maybe later on your passenger may be drop off, maybe they leave your car, so you can exit the object. So an association is a simple structural connection or is an association between the relationship between objects and classes. So association, for example, here we have student and instructor. So student and instructor always in a simple association. Maybe if one instructor teaches a student, maybe he will leave. Nothing will happen for the student. Maybe another instructor will teach them. Yeah, so such kinds of relationship already, what we call it is an association. The other thing we have an aggregation. Aggregation, as we discussed before, it is the part and whole class. It is the combinations of smaller and larger class. That means the smaller class or the part class will aggregate on the larger classes. So such types of relationship known as already an aggregation. What does mean this? If the smaller class is separated from the larger class, nothing will be happen except the smaller class didn't or cannot perform its function. For example, let's take a tire and a car. Maybe the tire will perform, the wheel will perform its function when it's aggregated with the car. But when we separate it from the car, maybe we can use as to wash clothes and so on. Yeah. So such kind of relationship is already what we call an aggregation. So let's continue. For example, here we have engine inspection. So we have an engine and we have a car. The wheel is already aggregated with a car. An engine is aggregated with a car. So this means these are the part classes. These two are the whole class, or this is almost the larger. Yeah, this is already the whole. This is also the part. These classes are aggregated on this larger class. But if you separate these two classes, nothing will be happen. The engine will not perform its function, the wheel will not perform its function, but still it is an engine or it is a wheel. So this kind of relationship is also called aggregation. The other one is, by the way, aggregation is a special kind of association. The other types of relationship is already composition. As the name indicates, two objects are composed with each other. So as each object has their own identity, one object could be composed with the other object. Object could be composed with the other object. That means if one object is composed with another one object, there is no two composition. So this object will not compose with the other class. One object will compose with one object only. This is one to one. Sorry, one to many. Maybe on the whole class, more of objects will compose, but one object will be composed only with another one object. The part class will compose only with another class. So these types of relationships already composition. This is a kind of composition. Hand, leg, and head are composed with person. If we segregate this from this part from the person, so they never have their own properties in character. They maybe they know they will not exist more. Maybe they will change into another objects. The other thing we have inheritance. So technically inheritance in a software engineering, especially in object-oriented programming language, inheritance means we can build an object from existing object. Yeah, we can build an object from the pre-existing object. For example, we came from our parents. Yeah, we take some properties of our parents, but we have our identities. So inheritance means an object will build from another object, but that object may exist previously before the new object. This kind of relationship is called inheritance. Object will take commonality of new classes. Yeah, there are three types of inheritances: single, dynamic, and multiple inheritance. When you say a single, one object may inherit from another single object. Yeah, when you say a single inheritance, there is one parent and maybe there is more child. So the children may be more, but there is one parent. There is no two or more parents for such kinds of inheritances. The other one, we have the multiple inheritances. In multiple inheritance, also the child will inherit characteristics at least from two or more parents. So such kinds of inheritance is called multiple inheritance. That means there are two or more parents, or there are two or more objects to build a new object. So such kinds of inheritance is called a multiple inheritance. The other one is already the dynamic inheritance, allows object to change and evolve over time. There are different kinds of object characteristics which change through time. So if this kinds of or this nature will be in the dynamic character, so there is a dynamic inheritance. So this kinds of is not stagnant. There is a dynamic when one object changes, the others also too. So this a little bit the example. So here we have the vehicle. A car inherits some characteristics from the vehicle. Yeah, a car inherits some characteristics from the vehicle. The same is true. Hyundai will bring or from character from here. In this case, Hyundai is built from the car class or the car object. These three also built from this Hyundai. So such kinds of relationship of this kinds of inheritance is called already single inheritance. So single inheritance, maybe there is more children there, but only there is one parents. So from three or more or two or more objects can build from one parent. So this is what we call a single inheritance. Let's look at these types of inheritance. This is a multiple inheritance. Look, here we have this class, the employee class, and again the same thing here we have the teacher class. So this indicates that the lecturer class at the same time is a lecturer, at the same time it is an employee. So this lecturer class will inherit characteristics from these two classes. There are two classes, or this property is this object is built from employee at the same time from teacher classes. So such kinds of mechanism makes every inheritance multiple inheritance. So thank you very much.